Hello friend, welcome to my channel. Coin worth million. Today video is one you won't miss. We're diving into the world of coins. Top 100 lira coin. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. So let's get it started. The 1976 Italian 100 lira coin, denominated as L.100, occupies a distinctive place in the legacy of Italian numismatics, especially within the broader context of Italy's post-war economic recovery and its evolving national identity during the Cold War and post-fascist era. Minted under the Republic of Italy, Repubblica Italiana, this coin was part of a long-running and widely circulated series first introduced in 1955, remaining in issue until the adoption of the euro in 2002. The 100 lira coin from 1976 specifically is a representative specimen of the coinage during the presidency of Giovanni Leone, and it illustrates the design, metallurgical advancements, and cultural ideology of a country navigating its way between tradition and modernization in the mid-1970s. Made of Ignonitol, a proprietary stainless steel alloy derived from Monetario Italiano, the coin is both resilient and corrosion-resistant, chosen to reflect the enduring strength of the Italian economy, or at least its aspirations. Weighing 8 grams and measuring 27.8 millimeters in diameter, the coin carries a plain edge and a glossy, silvery metallic appearance that is typical of Ignonitol coins. It was minted in large numbers to support Italy's growing economy, which, by the 1970s, was experiencing stagflation, unemployment, and political instability, but also expanding consumer markets and deeper integration with the European community. The obverse front of the coin features the classical depiction of Minerva, the Roman goddess of wisdom, war, and the arts. Standing gracefully, she faces left, holding a long spear in her right hand while reaching out her left hand toward an olive tree symbolizing peace and wisdom, which she appears to be nurturing or blessing. The design, executed by Giuseppe Romagnoli, is notable for its balance of classical beauty and symbolic narrative. The figure of Minerva reflects Italy's deep roots in Roman antiquity and intellectual heritage, while the olive tree, ubiquitous in Mediterranean culture, also that represents the agrarian base of the Italian economy and a longing for harmony in a time of Cold War tensions. The word Repubblica Italiana with the classical Roman V4U is inscribed in a semicircle along the coin's edge, following the arc of the rim from top left to top right. This inscription, common to many Italian coins of the era, underscores Italy's constitutional identity as a republic after the monarchy was abolished in 1946. The reverse backside of the coin is more modernist in tone but no less significant. It depicts the denomination L.100 lira 100 centered above the mint year 1976, with a left-facing image of a stylized head of Italy's female personification, a variant of Italia Turrita, Italy with a mural crown, although simplified and unadorned in this version. However, in the 100 lira coins of this type, known as Type 1 or Romagnoli type, the reverse more prominently features the number 100 below the image of Minerva and olive tree rather than a separate symbolic head. At the bottom right of the coin's reverse is the mint mark R, denoting the Rome Mint Istituto Poligrafico e Zecca dello Stato di Roma, which had long served as the primary facility for Italian coinage since unification. The Roman mint was responsible for striking most of Italy's circulating coins, and the R mint mark is an enduring symbol of authenticity for collectors and historians alike. It is worth noting that, unlike some rare coins, the 1976 edition is not scarce in terms of mintage. In fact, the production that year was robust, with approximately 235 million coins minted, making it a common year in this series. Despite its ubiquity, the coin remains a poignant historical artifact and is sought after by numismatists, not for rarity but for completeness of collection and historic context. In terms of its economic role, the 100 lira coin in 1976 held moderate purchasing power. It could buy a loaf of bread, a newspaper, or a small espresso at a cafe. While inflation was increasingly affecting the lira during the 1970s, this coin remained an important medium of everyday transactions for the Italian populace. Italians commonly refer to this coin as cento lira, and it was a cornerstone of pocket change, used by workers, students, vendors, and commuters alike. It carried a sense of familiarity and utility. In later years, it would become somewhat symbolic of nostalgia for a pre-Euro Italy, a time when coins like the 100 lira carried national symbols and classical themes that rooted Italy in its ancient past while pushing forward through the turbulence of the late 20th century. By the mid-1990s, the 100 lira coin had lost much of its original value due to inflation and was eventually supplanted by the euro cent coins after 2002. Nevertheless, the 1976 edition still remains legally collectible and is occasionally accepted in historical numismatic exhibitions and currency museums. Design-wise, Giuseppe Romagnoli's aesthetic was influenced heavily by neoclassical ideals and fascist-era state symbolism. He began working with coinage under Mussolini's regime, yet his post-war work shows a transition to cleaner, more democratic visuals, martial, more peaceful. The figure of Minerva is portrayed not as a warrior goddess in full armor, but as a protective, nurturing guardian of knowledge and civilization. The motif of the olive tree further softens the image, tying the coin to both ancient Roman mythology and modern pacifist sentiments. This symbolism was particularly poignant in a Europe still scarred by 2 world wars and amid fears of a possible third, this time involving nuclear weapons during the Cold War. The design decisions embedded within the coin's aesthetics served not merely decorative purposes but ideological ones, as well projecting Italy's renewed commitment to peace, education, and republican values. As for its legacy among collectors, the 1976 100 lira coin is generally categorized as a common date coin, which means that its value in circulated condition is relatively modest, typically less than $1 or euro in today's collector markets. However, uncirculated specimens, especially those in mint condition, graded MS65 or above, can attract higher value, sometimes fetching several dollars depending on the quality, luster, and certification. Special proofs or presentation sets also exist, though these were not struck in 1976 specifically for collectors. Most of the value for the average enthusiast lies not in the financial return but in its historical, aesthetic, and emotional resonance. Collectors often seek to complete full date sets from 1955 to 1989 of the standard Minerva 100 lira series before the design changed in 1992. A smaller 100 lira coin featuring a different layout referred to as the Caravelle reverse on other denominations, or the reduced size 100 lira Minerva variant. Numismatically, the 100 lira 1976 coin stands at the intersection of classical art, modern metallurgy, and socio-political representation. The use of stainless steel, rare among world coinage of the time, exemplifies Italy's commitment to durable coinage, and the widespread use of this coin ensured that it entered the daily lives and memories of millions. Many Italians who lived through the 1970s recall the 100 lira coin as an integral component of their youth, used in vending machines, public payphones, metro tokens, and even elementary school economics lessons. It was more than currency, it was a small piece of art that circulated widely, carrying with it both symbolism and practicality. From a historical perspective, the 1976 L.100 is a snapshot of Italian resilience and identity. The coin connects us to an era of bell-bottom jeans, Fiat automobiles, and the music of Lucio Battisti and Mina. It reflects the paradox of a nation steeped in antiquity and striving toward modernism, a country facing political fragmentation, economic challenges, and ideological crossroads. The Minerva design held onto values of knowledge, agriculture, peace, and vigilance, all crucial aspirations for a country negotiating its place in NATO, the European Economic Community, and a polarized world order. Whether held in the hands of a bus driver in Naples, a housewife in Palermo, or a factory worker in Milan, the 1976 100 lira coin passed silently between palms, across shop counters, and into pockets, carrying with it the invisible weight of history and national character. In conclusion, the 1976 L100 coin is far more than a stainless steel disc worth 100 lira. It is an artifact, beautifully engineered, classically designed, and embedded with the cultural, historical, and artistic DNA of modern Italy. It tells a story not just of monetary exchange, but of ideological expression, social unity, and national transformation. Whether found today in an old wallet, a collector's binder, or a flea market box, the 1976 100 lira coin remains an eloquent testimony to the enduring power of currency as both a medium of commerce and a messenger of identity. Next coin. The 1979 Italian 100 lira coin, commonly designated as L100, stands as a pivotal relic of Italy's modern numismatic history, embodying both continuity and change during a period of national introspection and global transformation. As part of the iconic Minerva series, which spanned from 1955 until the early 1990s, the 100 lira coin of 1979 serves as more than just a unit of currency. It is a compact expression of Italian culture, aesthetics, and economic pragmatism. Minted in Rome by the Istituto Poligrafico Isecca dello Stato, the Italian state mint, the 1979 version of the coin shares its design lineage with earlier coins of the same denomination, continuing the use of Acmanotla durable, stainless steel alloy composed mainly of iron, chromium, and nickel, selected for its corrosion resistance and industrial resilience, weighing 8 grams with a diameter of 27.8 millimeters. And featuring a plain edge. The coin was produced in large numbers to facilitate widespread everyday use among Italian citizens, with over 163 million pieces minted that year, making it a common yet culturally resonant issue. This design, which had been introduced in the mid-1950s, was the product of post-war reconstruction efforts and symbolic alignment with Italy's republican ideals and classical roots. By 1979, the design had become deeply familiar in the pockets and lives of Italians, serving as a tangible link between antiquity and contemporary life. The obverse of the coin features the elegant and dignified image of Minerva, the Roman goddess of wisdom, arts, war strategy, and crafts. Standing tall and facing left, she holds a long spear in her extended right arm, while her left hand reaches out toward an olive tree, which symbolizes peace, knowledge, and regeneration. This tree, a frequent emblem in Mediterranean and Roman traditions, was not merely decorative. It conveyed an aspirational vision for a peaceful, knowledgeable, and agriculturally balanced Italy. The figure of Minerva is rendered in classical attire, in robes that fall gracefully to the ground, invoking Greco-Roman sculpture, and standing in contrast to the technological modernism sweeping through Italy during the late 20th century. Designed by the talented Giuseppe Romagnoli, one of the most prominent coin designers of his time. This motif emphasized Italy's deep-rooted classical heritage while projecting values aligned with intellectualism and peace rather than militarism. The inscription Repief Blica Italiana is arched along the left edge of the coin, with the classical V replacing the modern U in Repief Pollica, following traditional Latin script. This stylistic choice underscores the government's intention to root Italy's identity in the grandeur of its ancient past while looking forward to a democratic future. The reverse side of the 100 Lire coin continues this balance between heritage and functionality. It features the bold denomination L.100 prominently centered above the date 1979, with the mint marker just to the right of the date, signifying its production at the Rome Mint. To the left, there is a continuation of Minerva and the olive tree motif from the obverse, creating a unified and balanced visual language. The choice to replicate part of the obverse scene into the reverse is a unique design decision that enhances continuity and reinforces symbolic meaning. Unlike coins that separate obverse and reverse themes entirely, the 100 Lire's two sides work together to tell a coherent narrative of Italian values, knowledge, peace, strength, and unity. This duality is emblematic of Italy's own complex identity in 1979. A country simultaneously grappling with the legacy of its ancient empire, the fascist past, post-war recovery, and its modern republican existence within the European Economic Community (EEC). The year 1979 was itself a notable juncture in Italian and European history. Domestically, Italy was dealing with what was termed the years of lead anni di Pombo, a turbulent period marked by political extremism, terrorism, and economic instability. Leftist and rightist factions engaged in bombings, kidnappings, and assassinations that shook the democratic framework. The kidnapping and assassination of Aldo Moro in 1978 by the Red Brigades was still fresh in public memory, and the government was under immense pressure to stabilize the nation. Amid such turmoil, the circulation of a stable, recognizable, and historically resonant coin like the 100 Lire served a subtle psychological role, grounding people in routine and familiarity amid uncertainty. In this light, Minerva, goddess of strategy, wisdom, and civilized order, takes on a deeper resonance. Her poised, commanding presence reminded Italians of the enduring value of knowledge over violence, culture over conflict, and rational governance over chaos. The coin was thus not only a monetary token but a symbol of quiet resilience. Economically, the lira was undergoing depreciation due to inflation and external shocks. Oil crises, global economic stagnation, and internal political strife contributed to a weakening currency. Yet, despite its diminishing purchasing power, the 100 lira coin retained considerable value in 1979, allowing Italians to purchase essential goods such as a newspaper, a tram ticket, or a small snack. Its frequent use in daily transactions made it a cornerstone of everyday economic life, particularly among students, workers, housewives, and small business owners. The coin was durable, easily stored in wallets and cash drawers, and compatible with public telephones and vending machines, commonplaces of urban life in Italy's bustling cities like Rome, Milan, Florence, and Naples. This functionality added to its ubiquity and familiarity, fostering an almost emotional attachment among those who used it. In terms of numismatic value, the 1979 edition is considered a common date, meaning that it is widely available to collectors. Due to its high mintage, in circulated condition, it holds nominal financial value, usually a fraction of a euro or dollar in today's coin markets. However, in mint state graded MS65 or higher, especially if uncirculated or proof-like, the value increases moderately among collectors looking to complete a full year set or preserve coins in superior condition. Its real worth, however, lies in its historical and aesthetic merit, serving as a representative artifact of 20th century Italian life. Many Italian families still retain such coins in drawers, jars, and boxes, long after the lira ceased to be legal tender in 2002. As a result, the 100 lira coin from 1979 often appears in collectors' albums, antique markets, or educational exhibits, where it continues to tell the story of Italy's political evolution, artistic sensibility, and civic values. Artistically, the 1979 100 lira coin exemplifies the fusion of classical inspiration with modern minting techniques. Edmonato allowed the design to remain sharp and untarnished over time, while high-relief engraving captured the delicate drapery of Minerva's robe, the textured bark of the olive tree, and the fine lines of the spear and branches. Romagnoli's composition avoids the bombastic heroism of fascist-era art, opting instead for a serene, stoic, and purposeful Minerva. She is not in armor or on the battlefield but stands gently before a tree, evoking care, wisdom, and cultivation. This was a deliberate message. Italy no longer sought empire, but growth. Not conquest, but community. This motif remained consistent through decades of issuance, a rare feat in modern coinage, and the 1979 version is a fine iteration of this. Ongoing visual dialogue. By 1979, Italy had become deeply integrated into European and transatlantic structures, a member of the European Economic Community, NATO, and other international organizations. The L.100 coin thus functioned not only within national borders but also in cross-border commerce with neighbors like France, Switzerland, and Austria. Especially in border regions and tourism zones, travelers returning from Italy would often keep a 100 lire coin as a souvenir of Roman columns, Tuscan hills, or Venetian canals, making it a token of memory as much as monetary exchange. As the 20th century moved toward the millennium, the 100 lire coin would face increasing competition from smaller, lighter, and more secure coins introduced during Italy's monetary modernization. Eventually, it would be phased out with the euro's adoption in 2002. However, the 1979 version remains lodged in collective memory as a classic example of mid-century Italian coinage. It represents a time of ideological battle, economic challenge, and cultural resilience. It is the coin of post-war schools, train stations, trattorias, and university halls. To hold a 1979 100 lira today is to hold a piece of living history, a tactile reminder of a nation that stood at the crossroads of past and future. In conclusion, the 1979 L.100 coin is not merely an object of monetary utility, but a vessel of artistic expression, national identity, and everyday life, encapsulating the hopes, fears, and values of Italy at a critical moment in its modern journey. Whether found in a collector's box, a family keepsake drawer, or a numismatic showcase, the 100 lira of 1979 continues to speak quietly and powerfully of Minerva's enduring legacy, and of Italy's ongoing story as a nation rooted in antiquity but ever searching for wisdom in the present.